Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore, and I'm broadcasting here from the borderlands. Somewhere in between. All right, Scorpio, let's get started. We're going to do a wonderful, beautiful, hopefully helpful, resonating tea leaf reading here. And I'm going to go ahead and just get started. We're not going to waste too much time. We have up here, it looks like some kind of monitor or like what are those dragons? The big lizards, right? The big lizards. And basically a little dinosaur, right? Now we have a person riding up here. Below we have a heart. Below we also have another heart with an arrow through it. And down here we have a camel. You can see the head. Here are the legs. Here is the back. Now we have two people sitting here. Okay. We also have what looks like the moon. And up here it looks like we have a person with an egg. Here's the egg. Here's the person. So let's get started on this, right? We have the lizard. We have this giant lizard. We have all these hearts. We have some romantic implications over in here. We have the camel, people riding on all of these animals. Now, the camel represents the waters, right? The ability to carry the waters through the wilderness, the desert, the unforgiving, the arid places, right? Where the sun just beats down. Now, the camel can travel, I don't even know. I'm not going to tell you what the numbers are because I don't know. I have no idea. What I do know, it is far, much further than, I think. Well, I'm wondering. Tell me in the comments. What is it? What are you guessing it is? How far can a camel go? They have those humps on their back that are, at least from what I remember, and now with all this Mandela effect constantly, there are things that we learned or were told or whatever that either, they have changed timelines or we were just given bad information, right? And so I don't know. I guess there's water in the humps back there. Okay. So we have this real feeling of fortification, right? Being prepared. Solid. You have been locked in. Like really, really eye on the prize. Okay? This is paying off. Because whatever is ahead, it's not going to be easy. Okay? That's not to say in your personal life you aren't flourishing. Maybe you will be flourishing. But collectively, we can all agree that we have some hardships on the horizon, even more than there already have been, right? And so I feel like you have really, really, really gotten it together very recently, gotten very serious about, okay, now I'm starting to really think, I might need to be like looking at my life and figuring out what I'm doing. What am I working towards now? Is that going to serve my ultimate purpose? And so I feel when we have the archetypes riding, and this one looks like we have a hunter right here, we know that this is like you're in the saddle, you're mastering the thing. And so there really is a sense of being able to kind of really hyper focus yourself into getting the things that you need. Now, this could be like literally you have a list of stuff, right? You're preparing. Maybe, you know, it's bad weather. Maybe it's a general existential anxiety. Maybe you are just somebody who's good at looking at the patterns of history, of, you know, the way that humans kind of go in cycles, and you're reading the patterns and you're saying, yeah, I'm not like gonna totally freak out, man, but you know, I'm not gonna also not gonna like just let it, so let's see what happens, you know. So I see you really in gear. You're really in gear, hyper focused, eye on the prize. So I also think we have this great sense of, I feel like it's transparency. I think when we have the sun overhead like this, I think it often indicates to me that you've come to a place in your experience where you are just kind of saying what it is. I want this. I am not willing to compromise on this. This I am. You know, this kind of cut and dry thing that happens when we start to feel the anxieties, the tremors of coming crisis, right? We reorient ourselves when we know things might get hard, right? And so I feel like for you, there's been this real, like, we're going to get down to the core of things, right? We are getting rid of the extras. We are, you know, all the things that I've done just to kind of like be nice, or, you know, the friendships or the relationships you have where it's like you put in so much and you don't feel like you're met with the same energy. You know, we all have people in our lives that, or have had, where like they never ask how you are, right? Every time you talk to them, they are talking about themselves. And so, you know, you finally start to really think like, all right, I am kind of tired of being altruistic here and being a space for somebody to just talk at me. And, you know, you realize like, this is my time. This is the only thing that I have, or at least perceivably so. You know, time is the true currency. Love is, you know, the true thing, the truest thing, maybe, if true is even a thing. But yeah, I see you really, you know, looking at these things and being very precise about what you choose to keep in your life. And this really, to me, adds into this lizard, kind of almost dragon energy, right? It's very much that lizardy brain, that survival thing, right? And I know it gets a bad rap. Rightfully so, when it is not, when the operating system and the software are not working together, right? Sometimes we get a little glitchy. And yeah, the reptilian brain can sometimes really steer us in a direction that can be very antisocial, I think. And you see that in people, right? And I think that's why often you hear it getting a bad rap. Here's the thing though, sometimes we really do need to be that almost kind of shrewd being. Now, I don't mean going out and like, you know, fighting your way through life and just stepping on anything you need to get up to the top. That's not what I mean. And I feel like if you're here, that's not what you're trying to hear either. But what I do know is that there are times in our life where we have a lot of hopes, ideas, concepts, and we really project that into the world. We don't always make the most reasonable decisions or moves. And sometimes our being has to kind of steer us in a way that's very unconscious and very direct and very like, if something is falling towards your hand and you know it's going to smash it, you pull it away, right? So this kind of instinctual reactive space that we have there, not always a bad thing. I see it being something that when we can, much like our intuition, right? When we can really begin to regulate our nervous system, to whatever degree that's possible, so that part of the brain, I believe, kind of becomes a little bit more maladapted, I guess, or triggering in a way that can become painful for you, or kind of, lashing out, or in a very kind of, I don't know, paranoid, jealous, scarcity kind of mindset. Okay, so I feel like, and all of this is to say, it feels like you have done so much work towards staying in that authentic space within self and really looking at your life, doing that inventory, that when you get into this kind of, dragony reptoid brain area, like, it works in your favor. Okay, ultimately, it's really working in your favor. Now, one thing I noticed as I was talking about all of this, we also have the word rage. On this angle, let's see, like right here, there, R-A-G-E, rage. Okay, now I feel, and I think a lot of us feel right now, a lot of anger, especially if, it doesn't really matter where you are in the world, right? Everywhere is just, I don't know, right? I'm not going to get super into it. I have in my other readings, and I'm, as most of us, we're getting fatigued talking about it. But don't stop talking about it, by the way. Please don't. I just don't want to bore you, because everybody, it's everywhere. And it's not about it's not a boring topic. I just want like one little space, right? Where we're not talking about that directly. So, a lot of rage, I think. I don't know about you, but I have also been feeling quite a lot of rage recently. Now, it's not the first time in my life I've felt this kind of rage. And I'm assuming it won't be the last, but I know that this kind of intense, fiery, volcanic energy, when directed, when we really do intentionally clear the energy ways through our body, through integration, processing, the thought loops that we fall into, the moment, okay, here's an example. Sometimes something goes wrong, right? You stub your toe, it makes you mad, you're frustrated, something other annoying, small minor thing happens, it sets you off, you start thinking about, why your mom didn't love you enough, and, why your brother always was beating you up, or, whatever it is. And you start to think about all the things that affected for you, your confidence, your this, your that, and you're going down this line of reasons why your life is so hard. So, and it just really builds up. Right? It really builds up. It's building up. And so we clear out those places where we just dwell, right? We dwell in the thought of it, not the sensation, not the impression or sensation of the emotion, of the feeling, but we link it to ideas, concepts, memories, right? And this rage, it comes up, this anger, it comes up, the frustration, it comes up, the fear, it comes up. And we go backwards, outwards, into the future, wherever it is, anywhere but here and now. But when we can start feeling that rage and saying, I feel this now, it is permeating every cell in my body right now, and I'm just going to let that be what it is. I'm going to let it go through my systems, but I'm not going to let it rule me. I'm not going to make any decisions when I am in this heightened state. I'm going to, experience it. I will witness it. I will honor it. But we will wait, right? Because if we make decisions in that place of frenzy, and that reptoid brain comes crawling around, waking up from its nap in the sun, right? Then it's really just going to take over. And things get messy, right? Things get messy. So, I implore us all, including myself, to take a beat, right? When things really start to feel like they are building up in us, and we all know that feeling, take a beat. Just sit in it for a minute. Let it do its thing, Now, we also have the hearts, and we have that moon. I feel like there is a belovedness finding you that is beyond. Okay, this is going to be a creative partner for you. This is somebody that you are going to meet eyes with, and maybe you've known them forever, but there's something that happens here. And I feel like it has so much to do with all of this celestial stuff that is occurring. Now, we've had a lot of solar bombardment lately. Okay, so we are a little bit glitchy feeling, maybe a little bit high strung, maybe we haven't been sleeping as well, right? Tossing and turning and these kinds of things. But we are marching towards, right, a beautiful conjunction coming up. We also have an eclipse coming up. Right now, as I speak, we are in the dark rooms of the mother. It is the new moon. And we must be quiet when mother is away. She has good hearing. She does. So, we sow our prayers, our hopes, our dreams quietly during this time. Now, it's also the Lunar New Year. We have fiercely opened the door, swung it right open, into the fiery horse. The year of the fiery horse, okay? So, it's all coming together, you guys. It feels, I have to say for myself, I went a few days there where I was so overwhelmed that I just felt like it was all for naught, nothing, the end is nigh, ring the bells, dude. I just can't, this is in just absolute absurdity. Now, the magical little gremlin in me says, hey, this is just absolutely the mass breakdown of delusion. Now, maybe not completely, but a lot of people are really uncomfortable right now. A lot of people are starting to be like, yo, wait a second. Wait a darn diddly second, This is a good time to be doing magic, baby. And do not squander it. Do not squander it. Now, I don't know what your intentions are, but I know what my intentions are, right? My intentions. And I just know. I feel like there's something about the fabric of things that is just getting a little loose. It's getting a little more loose, right? And so, I don't know, man. I feel like if you have, like if you are making homunculus, tulpas, creating, thought forms, the next week or so is going to be ridiculous for deploying these things. So, I mean, get on it. Get on it. That's my 2 cents about all of that. Now, the other part was with the moon. Oh, yeah. So, you have a creative partner. You have somebody who you can go into the shadows with. You can play with. This is like, like when you're kids, right? And you have a friend down the street. You hang out all day long. Back in the day when kids were like kicked out the back door and you didn't come home until dark, right? You would find people roughly within your age group, hopefully, safely, hopefully. And yeah, you would play, you would do all kinds of crazy stuff, make believe and deep fantasy kind of explorations and building stuff and all that, right? There is a sense of potential and that kind of openness, right? That kind of creativity. I think a lot of us are missing that in our lives. It seems to me that you have somebody either being activated into your life or who's already been there and you are coming into an activation with them. Okay. Now, the letter Z keeps coming up, so there is a letter Z that seems kind of important, Scorpio. We have the lion, heart, another heart, Scorpio, and a Leo. My goodness, what a match. Have you ever dated a Leo? Are you married to a Leo? Are you a Leo listening for your Scorpio? Ooh, but there's an Aries as well, with a question mark. You have a Leo and an Aries. My goodness, this is a very potent kind of situation. I feel like the Aries is somebody from the past. I think this is somebody that maybe you romanticize deeply. This is like that love that got away. Number 7, very tied to this person. There seems to be, it's in its completion, right? But I think that you daydream. You like to daydream. Now, on the other side, with your lion, I do feel like there are times when you really, I almost feel like you just put your hands in the air. You feel like it's like impossible for you to kind of communicate through the back and forth. But I feel like this is like that person for you. This might be your like love of your life type energy. So Leo, big deal. Big deal. Okay, 503 also as a number. Okay, and we're going to do 3 lucky numbers real quick. Okay, number 57, number 16, number 98. All right, Scorpio, I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself, and we will talk soon.